Hello and welcome to Makerble. I'm Matt. So this is the Makerble newsfeed. It's the first place that people arrive when they log in. So we're logged in as Patricia. What Makerble shows you on the left hand side are the projects that you're part of. So if you're a volunteer or member of staff and you're working on a couple of projects, then these projects are going to appear on the left and showing the status that you have in them. So Patricia is the leader of this one project and is just a member of this other project. Here in the middle is a newsfeed. So this is showing stories from people working on the projects that you are part of. So you've got a story here, another few stories here, and you can see which of your colleagues have written these stories. And on the right hand side, and this is the most motivating part, it shows you your personal progress. So on Makeable, every kind of achievement or measure of progress has its own badge. And so you see these like 6 meetings held, 25 families reached. These are the metrics, and there's a badge for each of them. So if we now click into one of the stories, then we're going to go from the newsfeed to a specific story. And so here's a story, and it says 6 meetings held, 25 families reached, 38 group attendees. We could have broken that down by gender and other demographics, and Makeable would store that for you, but it wasn't done in this instance. And then you've got the progress towards outcomes with the indicators that relate to them as well. A picture or several pictures of what happened, and a geotag reference for saying this is where this story took place. If it was recorded in the mobile app, then that geotagging is done automatically. Makeable also shows you related stories, but as you may have noticed, there's also scope for people to ask questions by adding comments. And when a comment is added, the user who wrote the story originally will get a notification saying that someone has added a comment to your story. Now, these metrics are brought together at a project level overview. So every project on Makeable has its own project page. On the project page, it shows you, as well as some vital statistics, all of the metrics that have been recorded from the stories you've logged so far and your colleagues. It groups them intelligently into activity outputs, participation outputs, and progress towards short, medium, and long-term outcomes. You can expand this to show the full breadth of data that's been collected across your project. And also in the project page is this timeline. So the timeline shows similarly each individual story, the metrics recorded for them, and just a small snippet of who the author was when it was recorded, where it was recorded, etc. What Makeable also enables you to store are the individual participants, as we call them. So we've got Aisha, Jackie, Caroline. These are all people who are benefiting from the work that this project is doing. And on Makeable, each of them has their own journey page where you can see the journey that they're going on through the project. And what Makeable gives you an indication of are the badges that have been earned for them based on the impact that's been recorded. And of course, you've got the colleagues working with you on this project, and each of them has a profile page. So if we go to my profile page, as Patricia, who's logged in now, then you can see the profile. It says all the stories that Patricia has logged across all the projects she works on. You can see who follows her, the project she's part of, the organisation she works for, and again, the impact that she has personally logged. And we found this to be the really motivating part because people can see the individual progress that they've made. So we've looked at the project progress, individual progress. If we shoot up to the summary, then here you can see organizational progress. So what Makeable does is pull together for the charity that you work for, here are the projects that you're working on, here's where they are in the world, and you can zoom into that as you see fit. In each project you could link to it directly. But then you've got this overview, this logic model, theory of change, style overview that says across all the projects, these are the total achievements that we've made, this is the total impact we've made. And you can also see that as a list. And as I said before, if class attendees, if you'd also been recording gender, ethnicity, age, and other demographic information, then you would see pie charts reflecting that below each of these progress bars. Makeable also shows you all of the stories that have been collected across your organization, And it shows you your members of staff or volunteers and how many stories each of them have written, so you can encourage them to keep doing more. Not that you'd need to, because the profile and the newsfeed really do encourage people to be logging information regularly. So when it comes to logging information, that's done through this Make Story button. The Make Story button exists on every page, and for each of your projects, you've got the outputs, the outcomes, the metrics you want to record. Those are preloaded into the story page. So if I was to select a different project that Patricia is attached to, then this updates to show the metrics I want to record. So let's say this time, class attendees, we had 30, and now I'm going to add some splits. So I might want to group them by age, and this is the age split that we decided for this project, so grouping them into small bands. But then I also might want to group them by gender. So let's say that 15 of them were male, 15 of them were female. And you can customize these splits to the criteria or the segments that work for your organization. So you add in the outputs, you can also add in the outcome and indicator pieces of progress, and with Makerble you can have different scales. So for something like confidence, you might have an idea of what 0 through to very confident looks like, and so you can indicate where people were at on that. So if we're talking about one person and that change in confidence, then I could put this is where they are now, but in the next time I write a story, I could say where they are later. So you can see that progress over time that people are making. In the project, you can also add in the location. Through the mobile app, it happens automatically, but let's say I'm doing it manually, then I might just put in the location. This is linked to Google Maps. You can also add in text, anecdotes, case study information, as well as any kind of file attachment that you would want to use as a picture, video, audio recording. Now, when I press publish, that information is saved to the project, it's saved to my profile, and we've got a story page similar to what we saw before that has this information in it. But you can see this time we've got those age splits and gender splits recorded. Again, people can write comments, we've got the location, and we've got other stories from that project. That is an overview of how Makerble works. What we've seen so far is that because volunteers and staff really enjoy using the platform, it has halved the amount of time that senior managers have had to spend on data collection themselves, because they're getting this information crowdsourced from their project teams. And what we've also seen is a doubling in productivity of the volunteers, especially those that work remotely, because of this gamification. People can see their progress bars, they can see what everybody else is doing, and that encourages them to want to do more. We have more videos on YouTube that give you a picture of how different parts of Makerble work, so do explore them and sign up for your account when you're ready.